All right, we're back.
We're back. Part 2.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
We have spoken about how the internet here today was a little bit shisty, and now we've proven to you firsthand that we weren't joking. So in any event, we now finished with, or we're at a 9-7 record, guaranteeing that.
Well, why don't we go back? Why don't we start with what our record was?
Okay, you like the build up?
Sure,
you like the build up? All right. So our record going into week 16 was 8-7. So really, we needed to get a winning week, one of the final 2 weeks, to clinch what we needed to do and get a winning week, and we got it last week. So now that we are 9-7, regardless of what happens on week 17, and we will make our normal picks, which we'll do in a couple minutes. But if you listen to us from the beginning,
yes,
from the infant days of Mind Your Fucking Business, you would have made money.
Yes.
That's all that matters. You would have made money.
We're giving out free money, people.
We are. So last week, as I said, we were 2 down. We were wrong on the Minnesota getting 6.5 at New Orleans on Christmas Day. We were wrong with Jacksonville getting 7.5 at home versus the Bears. But we were right on the Cowboys getting 1.5 at home versus the Eagles, the Vegas Raiders getting 2.5 at home versus the Dolphins, and the Steelers ended up being a plus half a point underdog, and we were right because they won by 4. We had them getting a half a point. So congratulations, Dougie Sticks. You can add a new trophy. You can add a new trophy to your case and do that. There's no way to get that screen up, right? Is there? I have no idea what's going on.
I can get it up. It's more bandwidth.
Okay. Now you know what? Let's not play. Let's not
look at your beautiful face.
No, it's not that. I like this stuff like on. It's actually kind of easy, but we're pleasant.
Good. It's pleasant.
Well, now I'm looking at, and people can't see it on the screen, but I'm looking at all these funky penguin animals. A little bit different, but anyway, 9-7 now on the season. We're going to still try and finish strong, and we will be doing, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, we will still be doing a picks throughout the playoffs. On the playoffs, we're going to amp up our game. We cannot pick 5 games. We cannot pick what games we want. We're going to pick every game every week of the playoffs and give you our prediction.
The separate
record. Yes, record. Don't you worry. You're going to leave a winner. You already won. No one's going to take that title away from you.
Yeah.
But we will then, in turn, switch it and then start all over. We'll do a playoff edition picks.
I like it.
What's a little bit terrifying about it is we're going to have to do that along with hockey season starting. So there's going to be a lot going on. A lot going on here in January and February on the show. Say a prayer for us. So here we go with our finale picks of the regular season, week number 17. I like the Giants getting 2.5 at home versus the Cowboys. Now you say to me, why? The Giants are checked out. They're awful and all yada, yada, yada. You're not wrong. You're not. But the Cowboys aren't great either. And there is a chance, the way the NFL has done the scheduling this weekend, which is smart, this game is at 1 o'clock. The winner of this game will make the playoffs if Washington loses at 8:20 in the evening. So they're not going to know. They're going to be playing this game knowing that they have a chance.
I thought we didn't have a chance anymore. There's a chance.
Oh, you do. This just drags. The NFC just drags you on. I mean, I don't understand what's going on. But I'm going to take the Giants at home. I just think they're going to show up here. They have a chance. You know what? You can end the season under your first year head coach, Joe Judge, on a high note and get a win versus the Cowboys. You're going to do it. And I'm getting 2.5 at home. And it's that theme of that I always like getting points at home. I'm taking the Giants.
Giants win. Washington
loses.
Football team loses.
You have a home playoff.
We are playing. Wow.
Yeah.
Who's Washington playing? Is that one of your
Washington picks? Is at I did not pick. It's not one of my 5 games. Washington is at Philadelphia, who is not playing really for much, but I don't think Philadelphia will lay down. And Washington may not have a quarterback because they released Dwayne Haskins yesterday. And if Alex Smith isn't healthy, and he may not be, they're starting some guy I never even heard of. So anything can happen.
You're saying there's a chance.
So I'm saying, there is a chance. But you know what? The first thing you need to do is win this bet at 1 o'clock and beat the Cowboys. That's your first step. And if there's a chance. I'm also taking the 49ers. This line moved overnight. Last night when I was doing the picks, I had them at 4.5. It's already up to 5 at home versus the Seahawks. The 49ers, again, their home games are not really home right now. They're playing in Arizona. But I'm taking the 49ers getting 5 at home versus the Seahawks. The Patriots -5 against the Jets. This may have moved. I did this before the Monday Night Massacre last night up in Foxborough. I'm just taking Bill Belichick. He's pissed off. He's had enough. He's going to end the season by just destroying the Jets. And he's got to get something to go his head out on. And he's looking at the Jets right now saying, you know what? I'll take some solace into the offseason by destroying the Jets in the last game. So I'm taking the Patriots -5 at home versus the Jets.
But it will be pretty sweet, the Jets. I mean, the Jets are on a hot streak, so it would be pretty sweet to if we're going to beat a team, let's beat the Patriots.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. But
we already lost our first round pick. We already lost our first pick, so.
Yeah, that's true, right? This rate, they're going to be picking 7. The other game is an interesting one because so far we have the Giants, the 49ers, and the Patriots. The next game is an interesting one because both teams are playing for something, which is kind of unique, which some of these other games they're not. The Steelers are getting 7 at Cleveland. If Cleveland wins, if I understand this right, and both these games are at the same time. If Cleveland wins, they clinch. So the reason why, because I couldn't figure it out at first, the reason why Cleveland is a heavy favorite versus the Steelers is do or die. The Browns win, they get in. I believe they own the tiebreaker versus Indianapolis. But 7 is a lot, and the Steelers are still playing for something because they are in the 3 spot right now. But if they win and Buffalo loses at home next week, which they won't, they will move up to the 2 spot, which is better. So they're both playing for something. But 7 is a lot. Kind of came back to life in the second half and came back and win the game this past week. I'm going to take the Steelers getting 7 any day versus Cleveland. And the last game, you know what? True story. I picked 4 of the 5 last night. I always pick 5. I couldn't find a 5th game that I liked. And then when we were sitting here before for 2 hours with our delay, I was like, oh my God, I got to pick another game. I'm going to just settle with the Rams -1.5 at home versus the Cardinals. The Cardinals did not look good at all on Saturday versus the 49ers. The Rams are at home, and they're only giving a 1.5, and they may have Cam Akers back, their running back who's been doing well, but they will not have their quarterback, so that's probably why the spread is low. Give me the Rams -1.5 at home. So to recap the week 17 picks, Giants +2.5 at home versus the Cowboys, 49ers +5 at home versus the Seahawks, Patriots giving the 5 to the Jets up in Foxborough, the Steelers +7 on the road in Cleveland, and the Rams -1.5 at home versus the Cardinals. You like that? You fine with that?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting that the Giants actually might have a chance.
Yes. You know what? It does at least make week 17 interesting if you're local. And I just realized we don't need to pick the local game separately because they are both in my picks this week, the Giants and the Jets. Yeah. So you are all set. We will try to end the season at 10-7 versus 9-8. 10-7 does sound a lot better than 9-8, I would say. Yeah. So I think winning this week is important, but at least we'll walk away knowing we made you money if you listen to us.
So if the Jets and Giants win, does it ruin? Would it make us a losing week?
No, the Giants winning would help us. The Jets, if the Jets won, we would not win that bet. Now you could win the other bet and still have a winning week.
But it's not. We're not doing a huge disservice.
No, we're not betting your mortgage on the Jets if that's what you're worried about, or your lattes or whatever you drink over there on the other side of the studio.
Kombucha today. Have you ever had one of this stuff?
No, and I won't. But I'll take your word that you like it. So
it's like iced tea.
Yes, the NFC East, which you just transitioned beautifully into the next part for me without knowing that. Will come to an end. We've made fun of all year long, and really everybody has, and rightly so, how bad this division is. And this weekend it will come to an end. The Giants and the Cowboys, as I said, play at 1:00. Someone has to win that game. Whoever wins that game will then be tuned into the Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles at 8:00 at night, because the loser, if Washington loses at night, the winner of the Giants-Cowboy game will get in. Not only do you get in, we're going to even sweeten the pot for you. You ready for this? You're getting a home playoff game. Not only are you making the playoffs with your crap
That's
record,
crazy.
You're getting a home playoff game. And I looked last night, and it looks like they would play Tampa Bay at home.
Oh, I mean,
so
it could be worse, but it could be better.
Basically, who's ever getting into the playoffs, okay? You're winning a crap division, and all you're going to get for it is next weekend you have to have Tom Brady and kind of a team that's playing better. I don't want to say that they're hot because they beat Detroit. Let's be real here. I mean, my first graders flag football team may have been able to beat Detroit, but the reward is Tom Brady at home. So you can celebrate Sunday. Someone's got to win the division. They're going to print hats and shirts, NFC East champs, which is a joke, really, because I don't know who would want to sport that you're going to win with like 7 wins. But you'll have Tom Brady waiting for you next week. And if you're the Giants, remember, The Giants already played Tom Brady at home this year, and we know how that went. That didn't go well on a Monday Night Football.
Okay. That was gonna be my next question. I was gonna say we have good defense. How the Bucs defense?
Here's the thing. It would be cool for me and you next week to be here, internet working provided, and have the ability to when we preview the first round of the playoffs, talk about a Giant playoff game. I think it would be cool. Whether it happens, I don't know. And if we're going to be fair and honest and subjective, like we try to be, we're not going to tell you the Giants are going to win next week if they're playing Tampa Bay. But it would be cool to preview it. Last thing to go over, another thing that has been decided and something we talked about in this program for quite some time now, the Trevor Lawrence situation. We do now know where he was going to play. Again, the Jets were in the driver's seat to just lose out and take him, but the Jets decided the last 2 weeks to win meaningless games and forget that and keep winning this past weekend. Trevor Lawrence will now be playing in Jacksonville next week. Or not next week, next year. Because Jacksonville has clinched with their loss this past weekend to Chicago at home. They have clinched having the rights to the number 1 pick. There will be no suspense in who that number 1 pick will be. Some years there is. This year there was not. Trevor Lawrence can start looking for a house, and a pretty nice house because he's going to get paid a lot of money in the Jacksonville area, should he would like to, because we do now know where he's going to play.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go. Everybody said for the longest time, if the Jets have the first pick, man, it sucks. Trevor Lawrence has got to go play on that train wreck. He's now going to Jacksonville. That's not better.
It's warmer.
It's warmer. All right. So I like Jacksonville. I've traveled there a lot for work. Whenever I have work trips there, there's a really good, by the way, there is a really good sushi spot on Beach Boulevard in Jacksonville. Nice. I can't think of the name of it. I can get it if anyone wants to email in. The sushi chef's name that when you sit at the bar is Tony. That is no way it's his real name. Let's be real. He's the nicest guy in the world. So Trevor Lawrence can go enjoy really good sushi down there on Beach Boulevard. It's in a strip mall. But Jacksonville is not better. You know how much money this guy lost out on endorsements when he could have been in the New York market?
Yeah.
Even though it was the Jets versus Jacksonville. So for all these people that said for the longest time, oh, man, if this guy ends up in New York and the Jets, man, I would stay in school. I'm not sure you're celebrating going to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I really don't.
No. I would rather, team-wise, with you're surrounded, like with your teammates. I feel like Jets is a better fit.
It's a better
fit. They stink, but they don't stink that as bad as Jacksonville.
No. You know what? You could have gotten a really sweet condo or sweet apartment in New York City.
High-rise penthouse.
And you had 10 or 15 years to turn it around. No one would have ever said to you next year, you have to turn it around or you're a failure. Yeah. You would have had all the time because you came into a situation where the team was bad and you played in a great market. That was the right fit for him, regardless of what people say. So we'll see how he does in Jacksonville and just leave it up to the Jets to win again this weekend and just drop more in the picks. So in any event, so next week, tune in. We will have our NFL playoff matchups. Again, the NFL playoffs are a little bit different this year. There will be 6 teams making it in each conference. So next weekend, instead of that first weekend where we have 4 games, we now will have 6. So we'll preview all 6 of them. We will inch closer to the NHL season. And we will also get ready for our Ranger preview show, and we'll have more info on that when that is coming out. And now that we've talked about it, it has to be done. So there's no backing up.
Absolutely. A lot to talk about in the coming days.
It's very hard, and I have found this, and I have never said this, but it's true. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit hard. The preview show is going to be hard for a couple of reasons. The Rangers, if you want to make an argument this year that they're going to be very good, you can, because they have a lot of young guys and they have Panarin and Zibanejad and Shesterkin and net, right? So you can make that argument. You can also make the argument on the other side, which is they're playing in a really hard division. They're young. They're going to be good in a couple of years. It's going to take some time. So to kind of land on a preview show and where I think they're going to be, I don't know. I have to be subjective. Because I want to be like, oh, they're going to win the Stanley Cup. My pick to win the Stanley Cup is the New York Rangers. And I'm not going to go that far. But I think it's a little bit hard here to pick where this team's going to end up this year.
It's going to be a good show. Very controversial. I'll make sure to have my whiteout Rangers jersey.
And thank you for moderating the debate. So we have, a couple guests that we have had on, I won't mention names, have asked, over the weekend had asked to come back on and to do Ranger preview stuff. which would be good. And we will do it, as I promised. We'll have some guests on for the preview show. I'm just not sure who yet. But I need to make sure we have someone who is definitely like,
you should have someone who thinks they're going to win the
biased.
Stanley Cup and someone who thinks they're not going to win it. And then like have like two teams, like team winning it
And
all.
you're the
and
referee.
and I'll be the referee.
Oh, before we leave, and then we are going to leave. I tell you, I didn't tell you this. My new job.
No.
I am refereeing. Speaking of refereeing, I am refereeing now, like youth hockey games in the next 2 months outdoors, because I need something to do and I need to skate.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to come and heckle me, feel free.
Absolutely.
Feel free. As always, you can send your questions to us at nypbshow@gmail.com. We thank you for what has now become a marathon episode. I've been here now, it seems like 4 hours. It's fine. I usually roll in, but it's cool. It's good hanging out with you. I saw more of you today than I've seen of you the rest of 2020 combined.
True.
So
end it with a bang.
We did. We'll be back next week with our New Year's 2021. And by the way, people that talk, now I'm not going to go on a rant about it, but I just thought of this. That say, oh my goodness, thank God 2020 is ending. It's not like Friday when you wake up on New Year's Day, the world is normal.
And that's what I'm going to have a meme or a picture or something. I want to make sure everyone out there, do not post 2021 best year ever, because we all know what happened when we all said that for 2020. It's going to be my best year. Don't say anything.
Right.
Just say Happy New Year and move on.
Right. We don't need to hear that, you think you're going to tear it up in 2021.
Because we all know what happened last time.
We all know what happened. So this time, keep your mouth shut.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in. As always, you can email us, as I talked about. You can also find us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook was the fourth one. So plenty of places to get us. You can always email us your questions, and also with emailing questions, email us your Ranger questions. We'll start collecting them for the preview show, and I'll try and answer as many as I can when we get there in 2 weeks. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a wonderful and safe New Year's Eve, and we wish you a happy New Year. And we'll talk to you next on the other side on 2021. Take care.